Have you ever wondered why the crucifixion of Jesus Christ holds such a profound significance in the Christian faith? This is more than just a question. It's a quest for understanding, a journey into the heart of Christianity. The answer to this question shapes the core beliefs of millions and impacts their faith in ways both profound and personal. So, let's not leave it unanswered. In the next few moments, we will embark on a journey to understand the significance of Jesus' crucifixion. Our journey begins with the Last Supper, a pivotal moment that set the stage for the events to come. In an upper room in Jerusalem, Jesus gathered with his disciples around a humble table. This was more than just a meal. It was a significant event, rich with symbolism and meaning. Despite the jovial atmosphere, there was a heavy undercurrent of solemnity. Jesus, with full knowledge of his impending fate, chose this occasion to share his last meal with those closest to him. This gathering was a testament to his deep love for his disciples and his willingness to sacrifice himself for the greater good. He broke bread, symbolizing his body that would be broken, and poured wine, a metaphor for his blood to be shed. With these actions, he urged his disciples to remember him and his teachings, even after he was gone. With this act, Jesus prepared his disciples and himself for the events that were about to unfold. Following the Last Supper, Jesus was betrayed by one of his own, leading to his arrest. As the evening unfolded, a disheartening scene took place in the Garden of Gethsemane. Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, had struck a deal with the religious leaders. He agreed to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, a price that would soon weigh heavy on his conscience. Guided by the light of a full moon, Judas led a crowd armed with swords and clubs to Jesus. With a kiss, a customary greeting among friends, Judas identified Jesus to the crowd, setting in motion a series of events that would change the course of history. This moment of betrayal, a poignant symbol of disloyalty and deceit, marked the beginning of Jesus' path to crucifixion. Following the betrayal, Jesus was arrested and taken away. His disciples, shocked and frightened, scattered into the night, leaving Jesus alone with his captors. Despite knowing what lay ahead, Jesus met his arrest with dignity and calm, demonstrating his unwavering faith and commitment to his divine mission. The betrayal and arrest of Jesus, though deeply tragic, were necessary steps in his journey. They were the prelude to a sacrifice that would offer redemption to all of humanity. Jesus, now in the hands of those who wished to silence him, was on his way to the cross. Jesus was then put on trial, a trial that was more about power and fear than justice. This wasn't a trial as we understand it today. This was a spectacle, a performance orchestrated by those who felt threatened by the message Jesus was spreading, by the change he represented. The trial was conducted under the cover of night, a seemingly deliberate attempt to avoid scrutiny. Jesus was accused by the religious leaders of blasphemy, a charge that carried a death sentence under Jewish law. But they needed the Roman authorities to carry out the sentence. So they presented Jesus to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, accusing him of claiming to be king, a threat to Roman rule. Pilate found himself in a tough spot. On one hand, he saw no guilt in Jesus. He found no proof of the charges brought against him. Pilate, a man known for his ruthlessness, was hesitant to sentence an innocent man to death. But on the other hand, he had a restless crowd to manage, a crowd manipulated by the religious leaders, a crowd demanding crucifixion. The crowd's demand for crucifixion wasn't a random choice. Crucifixion was the most brutal form of execution, a public spectacle designed to deter dissent. It was a slow, agonizing death, reserved for the worst criminals. And yet, here was Jesus, a teacher, a healer, facing this horrific sentence. Pilate, feeling the pressure, offered the crowd a choice, a tradition during the Passover festival. He presented them with two prisoners, Jesus, who he found innocent, and Barabbas, a known criminal. The crowd, stirred up by the religious leaders, chose Barabbas to be released and Jesus to be crucified. And so, Jesus was condemned to die by crucifixion, a brutal form of execution. It was a dark moment, a moment that seemed to signal the victory of power and fear over love and truth. But as we'll see in the next scene, this was not the end of the story. This was only the beginning. The crucifixion of Jesus was a moment of intense suffering, but also of profound significance. As dawn broke on that fateful day, Jesus was led to a hill outside Jerusalem known as Golgotha. There, he was nailed to a cross, an instrument of torture designed not only to kill, but to inflict maximum pain and humiliation. The physical suffering Jesus endured was immense. The nails pierced his hands and feet, each breath became a struggle, and the hot sun beat down on his exposed body. Yet, throughout this ordeal, Jesus remained steadfast, a testament to his unwavering faith. In his final moments, Jesus uttered words that have echoed through the centuries. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." These words, spoken in the face of unimaginable pain, capture the essence of his message of love and forgiveness. Later, with a final cry, Jesus proclaimed, "It is finished," signifying the completion of his earthly mission. But why is this moment so significant? Why does the crucifixion hold such a central place in Christian belief? The answer lies in the concepts of atonement and sacrifice. Jesus' death on the cross is seen as a sacrifice, a willing offering of himself for the sins of humanity. This act of selflessness is viewed as an act of atonement, a way to reconcile humanity with God. In Christian theology, sin separates us from God, but through Jesus' sacrifice, that divide is bridged. His death serves as a redemptive act, opening the way for humanity to reconnect with the divine. In essence, Jesus took on the full weight of human sin, offering himself as a sacrificial lamb to cleanse the world of its transgressions. This is why the crucifixion is more than a moment of intense suffering. It's a pivotal point in history, a moment of profound significance that continues to resonate today. It's a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and sacrifice, and a reminder of the lengths to which God was willing to go to reconcile with humanity. With his death on the cross, Jesus offered the ultimate sacrifice for the sins of humanity. So, why is Jesus' crucifixion so significant in the Christian faith? Well, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ isn't merely a historical event. It's a cornerstone of the Christian faith, a symbol that encapsulates the essence of Christianity. Let's delve a bit deeper into its significance. At the heart of Jesus' crucifixion is the theme of sacrifice. Jesus, the Son of God, willingly suffered and died on the cross. This selfless act was not just a demonstration of his love for humanity, but also a fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. His sacrifice served as an atonement for the sins of mankind. Just as a lamb was offered in sacrifice in the Old Testament, Jesus became the ultimate sacrificial lamb, taking upon himself the sins of the world. Now let's explore the theme of atonement. The crucifixion was not just about death, it was about reconciliation. Jesus' death on the cross bridged the chasm that sin had created between God and mankind. Through his death, Jesus offered forgiveness and the promise of a restored relationship with God. This act of atonement means that anyone who believes in him is forgiven and brought back into a right relationship with God. The crucifixion also underscores the theme of salvation. Jesus' death was not an end, but a beginning. It marked the defeat of death and the promise of eternal life. Through his resurrection, Jesus demonstrated that death is not the end, but a gateway to eternal life for those who believe in him. Finally, the crucifixion symbolizes the love of God. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. This act of divine love shows the lengths to which God was willing to go to save his creation. And that, my friends, is why the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is of such profound significance in the Christian faith.